Ladies and gentlemen, so far we've not seen any African president that is coming out in support of William Ruto or even coming to Kenya to assist him in any way to ensure that he has restored order in the country, particularly during the protests. Now, then something came up in my mind that why is it that most of the leaders have alienated themselves from William Ruto? The first thing that came in my mind, it is that William Ruto is hated in Africa, and that is as a result of the kind of operations that he has been making since he became the president of Kenya. Now, one of the things I pointed out is his closest association with the United States of America. Most of the African countries right now are talking like, let's be independent, let's have our own resources being mined here and actually processed here for us to have fine products. Let's try and ensure that we give Africa what it needs, the power of Africa. Let's restore ourselves. But William Ruto has been consistently been seen in the white platforms, particularly in the United States of America, in Europe, in some countries, actually doing things that embrace the whites. And as a result, most of the African nations have alienated themselves from William Ruto. Now, but there's one thing that I feel William Ruto forgot during his time. One thing that he forgot, it's trying his best or doing his best to create a good relationship with Kenyans. He failed a lot because Kenyans were crying, the African leaders were hating him, and actually was just embracing the whites. President of America, to be specific, Joe Biden. That was a great betrayal for William Ruto, from William Ruto, because he did not take the interests of the Kenyans at heart, just as he was taking those of America and other people. To give a good example, right here in Kenya, we had Meg Whitman, that is the ambassador of Kenya to the ambassador of the US to Kenya. This lady has been on the forefront praising William Ruto, whether there's something wrong in the country or not. But of late, she has been so quiet, meaning that, of course, she has felt like, okay, there's something wrong that has been happening in Kenya. And actually, the Gen Zs are calling for his dismissal from Kenya and go back to the United States of America. Now, as we talk at this point, I felt like William Ruto was so much controlled by the Western countries, and that made him to develop some bad relationship between him and Kenyans. Now, to sum it up, African presidents who did not like President William Ruto's association with America and other countries made now it so big, because right now nobody actually feels like nobody feels sorry for him. And as we talk right now, everybody, I'm very sure that those countries, those states that are pro-West, pro-East, are now laughing at William Ruto right now as he's going through tough times in Kenya. Now, William Ruto, another thing he did, it was the issue of job creation. He felt like the government was the only place where jobs can be created. He has been going constantly in Kenya talking of going to many places in Kenya talking of affordable housing as being one of the major cornerstones of job creation in the country, saying that there were 130,000 plus jobs that have been created and youths have been employed. But in this case, we want to say it here. Should the government just provide jobs, or it should create an environment for many other investors to come to create jobs in the country? Now, when I look at it very closely, William Ruto was supposed to lower the taxes, create an environment where you can have more foreign investors. Those lands that is building houses, it gives to these foreign investors in terms of leasing, so that we can have jobs created, people to be able to get money and even build the houses by themselves. But instead, he opted to build the houses himself as Ruto and the government and his friends, of course. And this one really angered Kenyans because we have so many professionals in the country who are jobless. And I think if you could have done the best thing by creating jobs, more other professionals could have been absorbed in the government, in the employment sector, and as a result, Kenya could have improved significantly. Instead, he opted to go with instruction of the US and make himself rich. Why am I saying that? It's because you can see how much he has been praised by the President of the United States of America. Not only that, and actually some presidents who are alienated with the United States of America. Kenya recently was announced by the President of the United States of America as an informal ally of the NATO. That, first of all, it was received by most of the Kenyans as not really serious, or maybe as not important than the problems that Kenyans themselves are experiencing. To add it on, we had William Ruto taking our troops, Kenyan police troops, to Haiti, where a place where US had failed and many other countries, actually now they were taking Kenya to restore peace there. Now, what happened at this level? It is that we have problems in Kenya that we're experiencing as Kenyans. We have the Rift Valley where we're having bandits all over, people not in schools are not built, children are not going to school, yet the president decided to take 1,000 actually, and the 400 have already gone, 600 more waiting, to Haiti to go and restore peace there. That was a huge level of selfishness, because it was impressing the Western as Kenyans are suffering. That is my video there and there. If you feel there's another reason as to why William Ruto has been facing a lot of antagonism from the Kenyans and Africa at large, please make sure that you put it in my comment section. My name is Abel Mokwa.